most of them we went through on the podcast over the past years. Like you said, the Guinness World Records, being involved in games that there was no record of him actually working on games like Metroid Prime, where it's like, what did you actually do on this? Like what did you really do? Working personally, quote unquote, hand in hand with Shigeru Miyamoto, which we've lambasted how insane that is. I think I said at one time Miyamoto wouldn't be able to pick him out of a lineup,
right?
And really peels back the deceitful history of really, I'll just call him a charlatan, really pumping up their accomplishments. Did they accomplish nothing? No, they did things in the industry. Tommy did things in the industry, but did not work on 350 games. The number
this is actually kind of boring.
Closer to really like.
This is kind of boring, isn't it, Tony?
Yeah, it is.
A little bit.
Yeah, I think we're done with that. It's kind of boring. Let's get to Amico Forever. That's not as boring because I watched a little bit of that. Let me see if I have the timestamps here because I'm not watching the whole thing. Let me see. 18 minutes. I think there's something at 18 minutes. Bring this up.
Yeah, they're paying us with
for build panel and from journalists. We are getting with our questions and facts. We're not able to do that. My wife is a reporter.
Oh, this is Rab when he says why he doesn't feel like he should have to correct information. It's not his job to. Any response there, Tony? It's not. This is what they're upset that they have to. This isn't my job. I'm just a fan here. I shouldn't have to correct misinformation. I mean, don't be mad at the audience. Be mad at Intellivision. If Intellivision wasn't such a mess, then it wouldn't be up to the job of people that are supposed to be just fans and followers to try to handle damage control and misinformation when most of the misinformation is coming from Intellivision himself, right?
Well, when they're repeating the misinformation, then yes, it does fall on them to correct the information and go, hey,
fair point.
That thing that we said, it turns out that was not true.
Yes. So that's where I had a major issue with that with Rab, and I like Rab. Doesn't mean I can't criticize him. Means he probably won't talk to me again. I don't know for sure, but I think just showing this is going to cause me issues. Honestly, that's how far. I mean, really, Amico not only doesn't give you new friends, it makes you lose old friends. That's what I've consistently said. Go ahead, Tony.
I said the irony. It's ironic.
Yes, it actually makes you lose amigos covering this and being critical. But yes, this is a position that you put yourself in by keeping the show going called Amico Forever.
No, well, I'm going to push back on you there, Max. I don't think there's an issue with that if they want to have a show discussing Amico. The issue is they repeat lies and then pretend like they have no idea what you're talking about. That's the issue, right? If they were just discussing it openly and honestly, no one would have an issue with it. No one would have a problem. And obviously, DJC has to admit that he's an investor every time they talk about it.
Okay.
But other than that, I mean, if they were just like, hey, the system's not out, here's where it's at, here's what we know, let's discuss the information in a logical way, instead of just repeating the bullshit that was told to them and then acting like, guys, we didn't make this up. This isn't. Why are you mad at us? We didn't tell you that it was coming out last year and in the year before that.
And for one thing, they shouldn't look so uncomfortable to have to address this big video that came out too. They feel really uncomfortable for this whole 20 minutes of like, I guess we got to talk about this because they're basically the PR.
They just need to disavow Tommy. They keep making him equal forever.
Well, I think at 22 minutes, damage control. Let's just talk about the voice actors. That's the real story here, not the whole Oof or Tommy. The real story is about voice actors.
Famously took the credit for, introducing the transistor, inventing the transistor. He was like the project manager who led that. He didn't do all of the research. It wasn't really his invention. He just took kind of center stage. And this is something that I think is notorious and a good topic for us to have, because we just came from one scandal in the video game industry about voiceover artists not getting recognition, not getting paid for what they do. What is their work?
That was
what
bullshit.
Are they being,
Yeah.
That if he's referring to the Bayonetta thing, that whole thing was bullshit, and she was lying out of her ass.
Yeah, I've
So-
heard that.
So if
But
that's what you're referring to,
here's-
so, again, they're not even up to date on their information. How are you going
Here's
to
the-
talk about a subject and you're like have fucking month
Well,
old news?
here's the real story. This is what they're saying. The real story is the voice actors.
Well, reimbursed for their work, or are they being paid like nothing? And that became completely side railed and not about how much voice actresses and actors are getting paid, and more about whether or not this one person lied about their account of their payment scheme to return to that role. The bigger picture issue that has all of this.
This is where I was losing my mind. And I like this man. I've met him in real life. He's a good person. He's a good family guy. But this makes me lose my fucking mind. The real story here.
I don't know, Max. I think
17 million
I think you
taken
got
from the gaming community is a serious thing.
I think
on lies.
you got to stop saying that, Max.
I
hear
know.
You, I hear
I
you
like
say this a
everyone.
lot.
I
but
like everyone, but I'm
Right.
so frustrated here.
Right, but you can't keep
17
calling people
million.
good. You can't keep calling people good people. Like this guy's a liar, but he's a good person.
Yeah, you do tend to do that.
Yeah, liars are not good people.
Yeah,
Josh, you know I like everyone. 17 million out of the retro gaming community is a big event, and that is a big story.
and that makes
I
someone
know-
not a good person. Like you always say, like, well, Tommy's a good person.
So,
No, he's
but
not.
to
He
say-
stole $17 million.
To say they're the whole 2-hour video is missing the whole point. The real story is the voice actors. Are you freaking kidding me? There is never going to be another crowd-funded console
Look
without
at
the baggage of this.
Look at the looks on,
No
on
one's
DJC and Nick's faces.
The bigger
there's-
story.
There's no one that say someone actually has a really great idea for another console and they need to go to the fans. No one's going to do it because of this.
The bigger
The
story
goodwill
out
is gone.
the biggest story out of the documentary was that Tommy lie about being on MTV Cribs. That's the real story.
I mean that stuff I really don't care about. The main things I
MTV
care
Cribs
about.
is still going.
No.
Yeah, they just brought it back.
Oh shit!
Well, I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you, Tony, too. Like the big fishtails, like showing images of people wearing your. I don't care about that. The stuff I actually care about is people losing their money in investments based on lies.
I think that was just supposed to show a pattern of behavior.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it is. But I'm saying the grand scheme of things, I laugh that stuff off. Where I can't and where I lost when I stopped supporting it is when I knew for sure that they were actually lying to consumers and investors to get the funds. I mean, the launch pad, that's the funny thing. That is a fucking lie. They were nowhere on the launch pad. Nowhere on the launch pad.
They couldn't even see the launch pad.
Yes, and that I can't stand by. All this other stuff, like I saw the Dalai Lama, I met the Dalai Lama, he liked my music. That's funny. Now I understand. He was just trolling.
No, he wasn't trolling, Max.
I think he was. I am
No, he
paraphrasing
wasn't.
this. I think he was trolling.
Max,
But
Max,
and
he
then
posted on Atari Age about it.
and then Rab actually gets to the point where he says, "And this is an industry problem, not a Tommy Tallarico problem." I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god!"
You're
All
a
right,
rad man.
all right. Let's watch a little bit more of this.
This meaning in the industry gets sidetracked for the shiny, interesting drama that is.
It's not drama. People lost their money off of lies. I'm getting really mad now. I mean, I guess this is the one I should have led with.
You're passionate about it.
No,
Yeah.
because I cannot stand by people, even though I still like Tommy in a weird way. I cannot stand by people that have lied to people and taken their money. If you
Yeah, that's
invest
just wrong.
in its truthful info, this is the angle they go, Josh. I know you don't know as much about this, but the angle they go is anyone that's going to make an investment knows they might lose their money, and that's true. But if it's based on lies, that is a totally different scenario.
Yeah.
If you're lying to the potential investor to get their money, that's not the same situation as someone going invest based on lies.
Isn't that like
I cannot say-
fraud?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. Yes. Hi, Mo Moon. I acknowledge you.
Oh,
Is
he's
that-
just using a catchphrase from wrestling. We're joking around.
Okay.
Wait,
All right.
we're still alive?
Yes, we are, CJH.
I love you, CJ.
We live.
No, I listen, RJ, get back on here. I'm getting really upset now. Actually, I was having a really good time and then revisiting this because I don't even know if maybe it was before this. He says it's not an industry problem, it's not a Tommy problem, it's an industry problem. Like, really? Really? If you really care about listen, here's a drop the mic moment for you, Rab, and I hope we could talk together again sometime. I'm not sure if it's not possible or not. But even if you think that is the real problem about, people doing work in the industry, not getting credit for what they will, then Tommy is still the subject of that same topic. Because in this video, he's taking credit for stuff that people that work for him. So even if you think that's a main issue, then Tommy is still in the conversation. What do you respond to that, Tony? Even if that's what Rab says, we should focus on this. Is Tommy still in that conversation about taking credit for people working under him? What's your position there, Tony?
Yeah, 100%. We've said it before.
So even if you're saying that is the main thing we should be focused on, then Tommy would still be part of that conversation because there's been accusations that he takes credit for everything, even though, yes, he did have the company.
There's no accusations. There's proof.
Okay, well, there you go. But even if that's why I was like, that's where it like blew my mind. I was like, even if you are going to say that, all right.
She lied. And that's the takeaway story that we end up with this. And I mean, it's a shame. And there's responsibility there. You lie and it's derailed. Part of that's on us for like not sticking with that story of how much is the Japanese voiceover actress paid? How much are voiceover actresses paid when they do this role? How much is fair?
This is unbelievable.
Not.
Yeah.
Again, he wants to talk from a place of authority, except for he doesn't know that they have an industry standard. We went over it when we covered this on my channel. Mm-hmm. We actually went over, and they have an industry standard, and it lays out how much that people in the Voice Actors Guild, right? The union workers, it has a clear laid out. If you do X amount of time, you get paid X amount. If you do this many sessions for this amount of time, you get this much money. It's clear, it's laid out. Like this is the minimum that you're going to get paid. So the information's out there. So it's not like it's a secret. What are these guys getting paid? And we don't know. We know what they're getting paid. And they decided as a union and as a guild to say, hey, this is what we value our work at. It's not my place to say, hey, guys, you're undervaluing yourself. You should be charging more, for your union.
I mean, that's
work.
true.
Right? If they said this is what they negotiated under and this is the contracts they're working on, that's on them, right?
RJ says, why is he focused on voice acting and not the dozens of examples Tommy lying and taking credit for games and audio design he never did? Because he's deflecting when there's actual stuff to talk about. This is actually something they could talk about. They felt pressure to even cover it. They were frustrated that they had to cover it. Did you notice? I mean, you'll see that at the beginning. I'm skipping around, but they're like, he said, I don't think I feel I'm not a reporter. Next Level Gaming consistently boasts Mike Mullis that he is a reporter. What are you talking about? And then he pops up later in the stream. He's like, I'm not equipped to do this.
Yeah, he's not equipped to talk about someone that he worships, right?
The Polymega, no, that's not a scam like the Amico. The Polymega came out. I mean, it had some problems, but it still came out. Josh says, like I said, any company who comes out with a game called Cornhole is not to be trusted.
Come on, you know that's funny.
It is funny, yes. It is
true.
I was actually looking forward to Cornhole.
We call it bags over here.
Of course you were for a second. Yeah.
Represent fair payment for that role, and we just kind of talked about that for 2 days.
What about the investors that lost all their money? These people willingly worked for that. If it was unfair, maybe there's a conversation there, but they still did it. What about everyone that lost their money on the Amico? Unbelievable.
Moved on to something else. We
number two, to address some of your points, and then we're going to wrap this up because we're not going to spend 2 hours talking about this. One, I just don't want to.
You have something to talk about. It's unbelievable.
He doesn't want
Wait,
to. Though.
they spend 2 hours talking about it.
No, they don't. They only spend a little bit.
He might if they actually make some out. in a great amount, you might see Tommy come out. I don't know, but I don't.
Tommy's never coming out of hiding. Tommy's
Never?
already been at Cliffy B's birthday party. He hasn't said shit to nobody. He was out there playing backgammon. Didn't say
Who's
shit
the
to nobody.
guy that looks like Jake Gyllenhaal?
Rap? Jake Gyllenhaal? Okay.
No, he was.
I think you
Okay.
need your eyes checked, CJH.
No, he looks like.
Well, I am blind
Wait,
Oh.
he looks like that actor. He
without
was in
my
Once,
glasses.
he looks like he was in one. He was in Once Upon a Time. He looks like that actor. He was like
This is
Dad.
This is like one of the most frustrating Amico Forevers I've ever watched because they've gone. I mean, this would be the time to pivot if you were ever going to. They are never going to pivot away from total defense. Total defense. And they still, I don't want to talk about it. What?
They spent about 15 minutes talking about it. All right, sweet.
And I don't think any of us.
I want to say something after you're done too.
Okay.
But then go ahead.
A lot of the stuff with Tommy and stuff I didn't know about. I didn't know about the money transaction thing.
How did he not know about that?
Because they're being willfully ignorant. Whenever
Yeah.
someone brought anything to their attention, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to hear about it. We don't want to look at that. You guys are haters. We don't want to listen to what you guys have to say. You were the same way, Max. So don't even act like this is something that you don't understand.
Yeah. Well, I think he knows that he's not. Listen, I'll give you inside info here. Tommy, any accusation comes out, Tommy DMs people and complains about it. They know about every accusation. I don't. Maybe it's possible. I don't want to call him a liar, but I'm telling you right now, every single accusation, Tommy's in everyone's DMs.
Hey, DM you?
Well, the last time me and Tommy DM'd, I said I'm sorry for his loss. I said I thought he had good intentions, but that was a while ago. I'm like, I'm sorry, this is all happening. I know you at least had good intentions. I thought that at the time.
What do they say? What's the expression, Max? The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah. Yes. And then you're right, Tony. And then the other thing that happened is the battle tanks were removed. Remember, Tony, when you saw me being frustrated to just be positive about a reaction, and you're messaging me that you and Tommy were messaging me at the same time. Okay, this is an exclusive. I think I've mentioned this before though.
Yeah.
So Tony was saying that they used stolen assets, and then Tommy was in my DM saying, "No, we check everything." And I did not run with it because I did not believe him, and I just did not say anything. And that's the last time. That's the last time. I'm like, I am not fronting because I don't believe it. I don't believe you checked on these assets, and thank God I didn't because I would have looked like a fool. And Tony was actually being. That was when me and you were more confrontational, Tony, and you were actually empathetic towards me. You're like, yeah, sorry, Max. They used stolen assets. You said it like that. And I was like, oh shit. I was on a live stream and it actually happened while I was on the live stream where they found out that it was stolen assets while I was live. Right, Tony?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't end the stream. I'm not going to lie. And that's, I was like, I didn't believe him. I was like, I'm not going to say what he's telling me in the DMs. I don't believe it. And thank goodness I didn't. Okay.
In your DMs?
Through
my Twitter DMs. He's like, we check everything.
Well, what else was
I'm
he sending in your DMs?
No, nothing else, CJH. He was just
Nothing like Andy Signer?
No.
Oh my God.
No. He was basically saying that we checked this stuff and it was not truthful. And I would have looked like an idiot if I would have ran with that. Okay.
Customs, I didn't know about that at all. So I don't have anything to say on that one way or another. Tommy exaggerating things. Tommy's always exaggerated things almost way more than he should have. It's one of the reasons a lot of us kind of wanted him to get a PR person and kind of back off.
And to have someone else to be the kind of the face of the console.
Right.
Yes.
And that would have kind of kept his kind of tall tale personality a little bit more in check.
His face is getting redder.
There's a stark difference between exaggeration and straight up lying.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. An exaggeration
is he okay?
No.
Well, don't worry. Some people have. I don't want to focus on it because I don't want to get.
I'm trying not to either. But
no, CJ. But he has some people have a skin condition. So let's not focus on
Oh, okay. I thought he was like stressed or something.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to say
let's move
something.
on. Let's move on because I don't want them to think I'm saying personal attacks or anything. I
No.
still think Nick is a good
Yeah,
guy.
no. I was
Go ahead,
just
Tony. Go ahead.
CJ brought. It was
Go
CJ.
ahead, Tony.
Okay, so an exaggeration would be like saying things like, "Oh, this is going to be the greatest Earthworm Jim game ever. This Earthworm Jim game has more levels than any other Earthworm Jim game." You know, that's exaggeration, right? We could call them on and say, "Hey, this ain't exactly true," but it's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Lying is like saying, "Hey, we have the license to this game, and you don't have it." Lying is saying, "Hey, this guy's on the team when he's not on the team." That's not an exaggeration, you know. Telling investors, "Hey, we got the guy who co-founded Xbox on the team. We got the lady who used to work at Nintendo,
Bill Gates,
on the team." Right? That's not an exaggeration. That's a straight up lie.
Oh, the other thing that I right when it happened is the other thing that I didn't reveal this yet. I didn't reveal this part, Tony. Is the other thing that was being discussed is when you guys were critical of the Xbox guy that was being promoted to investors that wasn't really on the team anymore. What's his name?
Jay Allard.
Jay Allard. And I reached out to, and I messaged, I think I messaged Tommy directly, and I was like, "Is this true that he was still a consultant or whatever?" Because that's a strong accusation, you know. And I think he's like, they're lying. And I honestly didn't believe him. Those two things, the Tank and Jay Allard, I was like, I think that they're actually, you should really treat that seriously with the Jay Allard if you're promoting that, and he's not even a consultant. They said, well, he's a consultant. So he was still as a consultant after he left. And I think that was a lie too.
Yeah, well, Jay Allard pretty much said it wasn't a good fit and he left.
Yeah, but they tried to stretch the truth by saying, well, even after he left, he stayed on as a consultant, so that's why we could keep his name on the pitch videos. And I don't believe that.
Why do I hear a rooster?
I don't believe that because
That's
it's
me.
Senior Nerd.
No, but see, even if that was true, let's go with the supposition that it was true. Jay Allard was a consultant, right?
Even after he left.
Even after he left. Then why didn't Tommy say that in the video? Hey, Jay Allard is a consultant for us. We can pick up the phone and call Jay Allard. That's not what he said. He said Jay Allard's on the team, implying that Jay Allard is out there working day in and day out on this in an integral role. That's the difference. That's not exaggeration. That's a lie. Mm-hmm. If the truth is there, why are you not telling the truth, right?
Yeah. Why did even if I just didn't believe him at all. I didn't even think he was a consultant.
Well, he wasn't. Yeah. He said he wasn't. But what I'm saying is, if what Tommy's saying is true, then why didn't Tommy say that on the investor video, right?
Right. We have a consultant, right? You're right. I don't have anything on him. I mean, that I didn't really talk to him privately that much. Usually it was with a group of other people. Occasionally I would send him a DM, but nothing crazy.
Yeah. Like Sweet and Tender said,
he said, connect to the internet?
No. He's saying that Jay Allard made huge contributions is what he said in the video. That's not a consultant. A consultant doesn't make huge contributions. Again, there's a difference between exaggeration and lie.
Yes, you're right. All right, let's skip ahead to, I think I timestamped this for some reason, 31 minutes and 36 where Mike Mullis comes in.
This way, it's a 1 million+ sub channel that did a way more in-depth version of the same thing that's been going on for the past 2 years.
Well, at least he's giving credit. Thank you, DJC. Gave credit where credit's due.
But he's dismissive of it, though. The way he presented that, he was dismissive.
Well, he was dismissive of it the last 2 years. But I'm just saying, at least he recognized it's the same information.
Yeah.
It's digging out stuff, like you said. It's like, oh, well, he said he had 6 Guinness World Records. He only had 5. What an awful!
No, that's misrepresenting the actual. I do think that the Guinness World Record part was pretty good in that documentary, where he basically approached Guinness World Record. They have a part of the Guinness World Record team that's more like a business operation where you could go to them if you want an award.
Yeah, right? we covered that already. But you know what's the part he missed in that video?
Mm-hmm.
H Bomber guy, he talks about nobody checking on the amount of games Tommy worked on, and that according to the book, that there was a gaming expert. Gaming experts were going over the records to make sure that they were all good. Well, spoiler. Guess who was one of the gaming experts on the Guinness World Record book? Tommy Tallarico.
No way.
Yes.
That would have made that part of the video even more epic, and he didn't use that.
Because he didn't know, because he's not checking everything.
Wow. I didn't know that.
It's
Did
listed.
you say that before?
I think I said it when RJ streamed.
Oh, okay.
Because after this all came out, someone checked.
He's the gaming expert that checked.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was Sweet and Tender Hooligan or Evil Knievel that told me. One of the two. Or maybe Tommy Amico. One of those three told me that. Because they have the book and they looked at it.
Sweet and Tender said there was some new shit in there. He didn't know the Tony Hawk thing was absolutely effed. That yeah. Okay.
Person. Or oh my goodness, he had a Hall of Fame ring that the Yankees gave him for playing on the
I don't even think he brought that up. He's focused a lot on the Guinness World Records.
Well, let me just finish.
That makes me think he didn't even watch it. DJC.
Well, DJC is trying to be dismissive again. Oh, this Hall of Fame ring, right? No one cares. If Tommy came out and said, "Hey, Max, look at my Hall of Fame New York Yankee ring," right? No one would give a shit if he wasn't really a Hall of Famer, right? We just laugh at him for being dumb. He literally put that as part of his pitch to investors. I am a Hall of Famer for the New York Yankees. That was listed by Tommy. And it's 100% not true. He's not a Hall of Famer for the New York Yankees.
I will go on record. I don't hate the man. I hate the things he did, and I can't stand by lies. I can't. All right, so let's finish this.
But I'm saying that's how they're twisting.
Yeah.
They're trying to twist things to make it say, well, see, it wasn't that bad what he said. They're taking it out of context. They're treating this little.
But what about those voice actors in Japan? That's the main story here.
I mean, legitimately has 3 straight up, and a couple of them are different records for different times that he broke the previous record.
Yeah, but I'm saying it was given to him. He can say whatever he wants, man. Like it's if people just throw all this stuff on because it's the fun thing to do, man.
It's not. It's not because it's the fun thing to do it either. It's just. I think these are the last people on earth that are standing by him.
Well, I do love how he says, well, Tommy can just say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Who's got the audio?
Josh says, I told everyone it wouldn't last. Retro gaming is a small niche, not really for the masses. It's,
Also, the Karma engine, Sweet and Tender is bringing it up. Not only did he use that as part of investment pitches, he actually got part of a grant from the Bavarian government based on the fact that he was going to use the Karma engine, which we know never existed.
Well, I understand the sentiment, like blast processing.
No, it's incorrect because blast processing was a thing and it did actually do what it said to do. Karma engine never existed in any shape or form. He was claiming it was a patent pending.
It said patent pending. Yeah.
Sometimes it would say patent pending. Sometimes it would say patented Karma engine. It never existed. There was no patent filed for it. It was never a thing that existed in any shape or form. Rubber banding existed in games for the longest.
Yeah.
Handicapping, all that exists. What he was claiming was a brand new system that was adaptive on the fly based on your skill level during the game. That's something brand new. If he actually was able to pull that off, that would actually be an impressive thing. But it was a lie. And he got money from the Bavarian government based on this lie. Mm-hmm. And they're dismissing it like, oh, it's no big deal.
That's true. That's a great comment, Sweet and Tender. Sega didn't defraud investors over blast processing. Right. You're right.
I've known the guy for 2 years, and he's been nothing but sweet, always down to promote anybody. Look at when I first met him, I was like at 100 some subs, and he was like, "Hey man, let's see if we can, blah blah blah." He was.
I think I was at 100. I think I was at 125, and he was.
Yeah, the guy was always. He's always trying to help people, man, and he's never. I've never seen.
Again, these guys are like, "Oh my god, Tommy was so nice. I had 100 subs. He was willing to talk to me." In the investor pitch, Tommy literally says, I'm going to go to small YouTubers and use them as a quote unquote grassroots marketing campaign. He literally targeted small YouTubers because he knew he could manipulate them and use his celebrity status to get them to say nice things about the company.
Yeah.
This wasn't Tommy being nice. This was Tommy using you to promote his product, and they still cannot get it through their heads.
It's an insult strategy that is like it's a waste of time, and it is like it's pathetic that he does. It's a micro influencer strategy. It's an actual strategy in marketing that people pursue, but it's used like, why is he talking to these losers? Because they're the only ones that'll listen to him and do things. It's
because he's generally a gamer.
Well,
he literally
I'll tell
is
you guys
generally
flat out. My interest in this console does not focus around Tommy. It does not begin and end with Tommy.
Likewise.
It mostly
this has nothing to do with the console.
Okay.
Let me finish
starts with these guys. Right here.
Let me just.
You just talked about how great he is to come on your channel, but it's not about Tommy. Okay. Oh, Josh, you're gonna get me in trouble, Josh. Did any of these simps ask why Tommy's so nice?
Oh, sorry, Max. I wasn't trying to get you in trouble.
Well, I'm probably in trouble as it is. Okay.
Max, you're in trouble every time I show up on your stream.
That's true.
I got to get this.
I'm sorry. Go.
And I'll let you guys talk. I have to do this. So
I've said a lot.
The thing, first of all, it has nothing to do with friggin' Intellivision. I mean, Phil's the CEO of Intellivision right now. Me and Mike are doing some testing. Like literally, I know the console exists. I know it's coming out. It's not a scam. This was Tommy's dream to bring this to fruition from when Keith Robinson wanted to do a new Intellivision. That's this whole.
I knew that was gonna be us. We're gonna get through this. Okay, go ahead, Tony.
I want to save some of this for tomorrow, but Jesus Christ!
I know.
It aggravates me.
He's not wrong.
It aggravates me to no end. First off, Keith Robinson never wanted a new Intellivision console because he literally told Tommy he didn't want a new Intellivision console, and he went with Mike Kennedy's idea to bring Intellivision.
Do you know this for a fact? Do you know this for a fact? Because that is like when I heard that from Tommy, and I was like, "Oh wow."
Why do you think he had to buy the company after Keith died?
Yeah.
He
wasn't already bought. Yeah.
Keith Robinson, like I said, he did the Intellivision Gen 2. He knew that there was no market for a new Intellivision console. Tommy had approached him. Mike Kennedy approached him. He went with the Mike Kennedy idea to try to bring a updated version of some of these games to modern consoles. After Keith died, he literally at the funeral was like finagling a way to get the company away from the widow, from Widow Robinson. Serious? Yes, he tells the story on multiple streams as if
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, he's like, well, at the funeral, I talked to them and I got everything together and I was able to buy the company. Basically, the Widow Robinson is mourning her dead husband, and he's like, hey, what you gonna do with that Intellivision brand? I'd like to buy his share of the company.
Oh, that's pretty. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go into that part. I mean, I believe you, Tony. It's just like, oh man.
The body wasn't even cold. What the hell?
Okay. That's not cool. All right.
Thing would never have happened without Tommy. But that's right now. That's not what we're talking about.
Never would have happened with him still there either.
It never happened. It hasn't happened. It's not going to happen. There is no route to this thing coming. I don't understand how these guys, again, the company has no money, has no employees. There is no route to success for this console. It's never coming out.
Well, someone said something about 7, up to 10K units.
No, what happened was Smash JT called Phil Adam.
Yeah,
they had a conversation.
I remember that.
Phil Adam said, I'm not going to just make 6,000 to 7,000 units and have it fail.
Mm-hmm.
So basically saying, I'm not going to waste time doing the Founders Edition. Right? Because if I do the Founders Edition, we're just going to lose money. And
we're just going to be done. We're going to be done.
So instead, we're just not going to do anything. We're going to one day hope that somebody with a boatload of money and no sense just comes and dumps it on us.
It's all or nothing. Yeah.
Maybe they can trick some Saudi prince to donate it. Donate $10-20 million.
CyberSals 2077 $1.99 super sticker. I appreciate that, CyberSals. Thank you again. I want to see. Matt Jarbo has a take there, like Mikey Sutton. Grassroots. I mean, that's where you. Yeah, I
Max
understand.
sounds like Scooby Doo when he laughs.
Scooby Doo.
Who does?
Where are
Who
you?
does?
We need to get the
Talking
Mike
about the
Wallace here.
constant just attack and smearing of Tommy because it's the fun thing to do right now.
Oh my God. Listen, I'm going to, here, clip this out, sweet and tender. I never wanted to say anything bad about Tommy Tallarico. He was my hero growing up as a kid. And it's very difficult for me. Part of the reasons I got on YouTube was Tommy Tallarico and reviews on the run. I think he's funny. When they showed those clips of him being silly, I genuinely like Tommy. I genuinely like Video Games Live. I never, ever wanted to say anything about this man in a negative way. And I have
Never
to.
ever.
And I have to. And that hurts because I actually think I would like him to succeed, but I cannot stand by the lies. And it's not because it's the cool thing to do. I was out of talking about this, but because they're stringing along their fans again, they have no intention. Tony just said they have no intention of actually producing the founders because they've always been putting the cart before the horse of some big investor paying to make the console for them because they never want to pay for it themselves. I never, ever want to say anything bad about Tommy, but I have to. And that's me being real. I cannot stand by it anymore, and I don't think anybody should.
You have to?
Yes! At a certain point, you cannot be in denial when people are losing money or emotionally invested in being manipulated. At this point, anyone that still has a pre-order that hasn't asked for their cancellation is being emotionally manipulated into not canceling.
So this is a life and death situation?
No, but it's people's money, and that's serious. Tony, do you agree that anyone left, are being emotionally manipulated? And that's why I got back into this conversation. It's not happening. They don't care about actually delivering for you founders. It's not happening. Did you hear it when he talked to Smash JT? When I found, I'm not going to fail by producing the founders. Basically, that's your founders, and then call it a shot because if they produce them, they're done. Then Phil Adam, that's just doing it out of the love of his heart. Did you miss the part where he has stock? And his stock will plummet if he actually makes the founders and everyone gets it and they know no one's going to buy it. Then his stock is going to be worthless. So enough of that shit too, that narrative. I'm doing it out of my love of my heart. No, the thing he's getting paid with now, stock, if he produces a small batch and then that's the end of it, his stock gets reduced even more so. Right, Tony?
Yep.
His stock would tank if he produced a small batch just to fulfill the promise that they've been promising you for years and years and years. His stock would go shoo if he fulfilled his promise. So he's not going to do it. Yeah. I'm very angry right now.
I can tell.
In this retro YouTube community, this guy, all he did was do a more in-depth professional. Like I said, he's a 1 million+ subs channel that's getting more attention on it because he's like, man, I can make some money and some clicks off this. And I guarantee you he made a lot off of that. But the one thing is most of this stuff, you could just look up the serious facts. Like, and I'll just put up another example. There's this thing going around. Look at all these celebrities where they Photoshop Tommy Tallarico shirts on them. What a loser, blah, blah, blah. Dude, that was a running joke between Electric Playground and...
He's getting this directly from Tommy. I could tell this.
It was not a running joke because it was literally on Tommy Tallarico's website. This was not a thing that was on... God. It was on the original website before he transitioned over to the new version, but it wasn't like it was saying. It wasn't a bit on a TV show.
I will tell you right now, I believe that he's getting this whole line DJC is saying right now is being fed to him directly from Tommy, the way he's presenting it. I believe, that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but the way he's saying that, it's an inside joke. Do you think DJC knew that beforehand? Even if it was, no, I don't think so. I think that's what Tommy is saying is, why did you do that? Well, it was an inside joke.
Tommy, and they did that on the website and like years ago. The joke was that they photoshopped shirts.
Didn't they
on
show that on Electric Playground? I haven't watched Electric Playground. I've just heard stories.
But I'm saying you're rehashing
I love
stuff.
It. He
and
said probably.
Mm-hmm.
When they asked him, he didn't say, "Yeah, I know for sure." No, probably. Probably was on it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking idiot.
This big deal. Same with like the awards or the Hall of Fame stuff. Do we really care that much? Like he said this was a bottle cap, not a bottle opener. Like
that's a straw man. No, he never. No, people were saying this because
it take him seriously with that hat.
Well, it's Turkey Day. He's got a turkey, but no. Yes, it's not. It's not as simple as that. These were lies. There's no other way to. I can't dance around it. I have to say it now. They were absolute lies. The simplest way to say it is when we're on the launch pad, invest in us. That's a lie. They were not on a launch pad. That's an absolute lie. There's no way to spin that. It was a lie. You know, it's not this bad. This is a bottle cap opener. I don't know what the hell he said.
It's really getting so nitpicky.
No.
And I don't really see most of these facts holding up. Do I know everything? I don't. But from meeting the guy, he's genuine, he's nice. And yeah, I still keep in touch with them for people that think I don't.
And you know what? If you actually, and I can't, I don't think I could actually genuinely reach out to him anymore because I don't think it would go good. If you actually have real criticism with him instead of like kissing ass, it's not going to go good. That's why they say when we talk to the Phil Adam, we talk about how's your day and stuff, because if you ask about progress, they change the subject because there is no progress. If you actually ask hard questions, there's not going to be much to talk about, right, Tony?
That's right. Because they'll just hang up on you.
I'm
busy.
I got something going on. Meanwhile, they're driving in their car. I got a meeting. That's what they did to even Smash JT. Smash JT even fell into old habits. He sounded like he was really busy in between meetings. That was purposeful. He's not busy with meetings for this. What's there to talk about? There's no line of people talking about meetings for the Amico. There's nothing.
But that's all I have to say on a personal level on that. As far as in television, this console, this has nothing to do with that. So I'd like to get back to talking games and some Thanksgiving stuff, but continued what you were going to say.
Absolutely. I won't go any further into it. I didn't want to go kind of line item by line item with all of this stuff.
No, I'm not going over every line item. I'm not doing that. This isn't that's not what this podcast is for. Okay.
Yeah.
Realistically, at the end of the day, this podcast is to hang out with you guys, to chat, and to talk games. That's really all it's about. Whether it's the Amico, whether it's Sega, whether it's TurboGrafx, whether it's modern, whether it's retro.
And why call it the Amico forever still?
Whatever we're interested in at the time, that's what we want to bring to you guys. The main reason I'm still here, like I said when Chuck was here, is these two guys right here.
Okay. I can respect that.
If the console comes out, great. I have a console. I don't expect anything. I don't get paid anything. I don't care one way or another. If it comes out, I have a product. If not, I took a risk on a startup company, and I feel like that's
gaslighting people that have criticisms right there. I will honestly say that he's gaslighting. Well, if you lost your money, you took time on a startup company. That's completely missing all the context of the situation. I'm sorry, Tony. Any response there? Isn't that gaslighting people that have actual criticism?
It's not gaslighting. It's deflection. Gaslighting. That term gets thrown around a lot. He's not making anybody sound like they're crazy. He's just saying that you're full of shit. He don't believe you.
Senior Nerd, if you're really sleeping.
What?
Okay, Senior Nerd. Very funny. Very funny.
What happened?
I wanted to do. I still stand by that. I still want the product. Anything that goes around Tommy or any of this other stuff that goes on, if they can bring out the console, that's all I want them to do. I want them to focus on bringing out the console. So I'm hoping they're ignoring this and all this other drama and just currently working on bringing out a console. Because at the end of the day, that's everybody's biggest complaint. I haven't got my refund and there's no console. Well, we bring out the console and we get you your refund.
Oh, there's Zeno.
What's up, Zeno?
What's next?
What is Zeno doing over there?
Oh my god.
What is Zeno doing? I still fall asleep when trying to watch that dumb video. What is Zeno doing over there?
Because Xeno's everywhere, Max. Okay.
Like herpes.
Ooh.
Hopefully, we all.
I want to hear what Mike says, and then we'll end because this is just getting me more angry.
Yeah.
either walk away like we did with the VCS.
There will be cliff
and
notes.
let people play it that want to have fun with it. I don't think you guys gave the VCS this much hell, quite frankly.
What? Man, this is cringe. The VCS, it had its issues, yes, but nothing on this level. We're unfair to the Amico, but not, but everyone gave the VCS a pass. Tony, did you hear that?
No one gave the VCS a fucking pass.
No.
What's a VCS?
Atari, the new Atari that came out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it seems like the retro community has become a community that anytime anything new that comes out that's not a flashback, that uses an old IP that somehow you think you own to do something new, you get your hackles up.
Only do 4.
This is gaslighting, Tony, because they're blaming the retro community for being critical of them being abused. This is just your problem because you can't accept new things. I think it is gaslighting.
Maybe.
Because he's talking the whole retro community. Because Nick is saying, anything that comes out that's new that you can't handle, it's not a flashback, you're unfairly critical. No, that's not this. I am open to listen. I support the Evercade. People think Evercade's bullshit. I would even buy the Atari VCS when it was $100, but not at $400. And Atari VCS reimagined games, what are they called? They're really good. I bought some of them digitally on my Xbox. Centipede reimagined.
You mean
Recharge. Yes, I support all that stuff. I'm open to new experiences.
Go for you.
Don't gaslight me. I just want to hear. I want to hear some cringe from Next Level Gaming. Next Level Cringe, as I like to say. Did I ever tell you that, Tony? I call him Next Level Cringe, not gaming. Next Level Cringe.
Clever, very clever.
It's bullshit because you don't own it.
Right.
Like it or not, Tommy owns a television.
No, that's not true.
Right. Wait, what's happening here? Rab's correcting Nick.
He owns a share of it. So does Stephen Roney. So does why is the name's escaping me? Shiny Entertainment.
Dave Perry.
I don't know. Did Dave Perry bounce after all this, Tony? Because Dave Perry's been somewhat pretty good with his other ventures.
As far as I know, he was just an investor. He wasn't really.
Yeah. But I think he's pretty much like, I never want to talk about this again. Right?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't even think he's ever really talked about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a number of owners on among the principals.
But
the point is they own it. They can do what they want to with it.
I get what Nick's trying to say.
But I also not lie. They can't do that.
Get the audience's point as well.
Boys.
You do feel sentiment attachment to it. You do feel like
I'm wondering if there's a Mullis moment here.
You have a personal emotional investment in something like the Intellivision brand. And you have a personal emotional attachment in something like Atari. And it hurts to see someone do something with the brand that you are attached to that you disagree with.
No, that's not.
That's.
I was on board. No. There's lots of people that are critical now. Like, listen, the ones that I'll talk about are me and John, the Retro Bro. We were on board for the premise. You didn't deliver. There's lots of people that criticize it now that were on board for the premise, but you never fulfilled the promise. Is that fair to say, Tony? Like, not everyone that's criticizing it couldn't get on board with a new. You didn't deliver anything you promised. That's complete fabrication there. No.
You can't just dismiss outright either. I mean, that's a valid response as well. I just think, that there is a lot that I know that we know haven't had conversations with the company that they are trying to do and trying to get out and still on top.
I can't take this anymore. I'm going to see if Mike says anything. Man, he's just sitting there. I don't even think I can. I can't even do this. Forget it. I'm done. I can't take any more.
All right.
I can't take any more, Tony. I've reached my boiling point. I can't react to anymore.
Well, I'm going to react to all of it tomorrow.
Yeah. Go check out Tony. Shit. I've reached my level of bullshit for tonight. I was in a good mood till that. Hey, Tommy.
Oh,
I can't.
CJ left?
What's that, senior nerd?
CJ left?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Josh. I went on this stream really got derailed at the end, and I can't do it anymore. I can't react anymore. It's too frustrating. That was the most frustrating episode I've ever seen of that show.
Yeah, but it's so entertaining watching you react to these guys.
No, I'm not entertained. I'm mad. I gotta stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
This is why I'm glad I'm not like informed. So I'm like casual. Like if I was heavy into it, I'd probably be frustrated with you. But where I'm a casual, I've heard a little bit about this.
If I keep going, I'm gonna say something that's gonna piss people off, or I want to focus on the Super Retro Bro show tomorrow night. I'm going to stop there before I go too far. And, and I couldn't even get to Mike Mullis. And yes, Mike Mullis is the next level cringe. I'm sure he says something cringy. If he says something cringe me, give me the timestamp because I can't go through that whole fucking thing. Because Mike got there and Rab was still going on and on with this defense. It's bullshit. And I couldn't even get to Mike. I'm done. I'm out. Tapping out on this one. I'll cover it again, but I can't take it anymore. Go check out.
Too much Amico for one night.
Go check out Tony tomorrow, where he will do his due diligence and figure that.
There'll be lots of sidetracking. We'll pull up receipts like we always do.
Yeah. Okay. So go check out Senior Nerd. Go check out Josh. Josh, put your channel in the private chat here so I can link it up. Go sub to Josh. He just passed 250. And we want to make sure to get you some subs there. Go check out Tony. And go follow Senior Nerd. Check out his old videos.
No, don't.
Oh, man. Oh, that's why you're like the way you are, Tommy. Okay. Alex, you're killing me. He plays a game for every cringe moment. Okay.
All right, I just put in private chat.
All right, hold. Go. Have you subbed to Josh yet, Senior Nerd? Go give him a sub.
No, go check it out.
Here we go.
And if you look, Max, in the private chat, you don't got to bring it up. But I did put the article from Eurogamer where they discuss how blast processing is real.
Okay. I believe you. I've reached I got to get to bed. Sub to me. Rational Skeptic. Yeah. I'll pimp your channel out more tomorrow. I showed your channel earlier. Whew. 2 hours, 10 seconds. Sweet Tender, give me a break. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do a separate video. Send me a DM, and I'll do a pre-record video. I've reached my limit. I can't.
Yes.
I can't react anymore to them. I can't. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Yeah.
I really only reached my end.